10 common mistakes that are costing you your dream home. Not getting pre-approved. Sellers do not want window shoppers. They want serious buyers. And it is unbelievable the amount of people that reach out to me that are not ready to go financially, that don't have all their ducks in a row. My mind is constantly blown. Like, do you have liquid funds to be able to buy this property? Do you have earnest money liquid? Do you have enough earnest money liquid, right? In Park City, if you're buying a resale, it's typically 3% of the purchase price. So that money needs to be liquid and easily accessible. If it's not liquid and easily accessible, you need to make it liquid and easily accessible so that when you find something that you're ready to pounce on, you can immediately act on it. Because in the contract, once you go under contract, that earnest money deadline sets in and you only have 4 calendar days to get that money to the brokerage account or to the title company or wherever the money is being held in that specific contract. Earnest money is deadline number 1. Also, construction deposits. If you're buying new construction, some of these construction deposits can be 10, 20, 30%, and that money needs to be liquid because there is also a critical deadline for construction deposits. Now, if you miss earnest money deadline, if you miss construction deposit deadlines, you are technically in default as a buyer, and a builder or a seller could cancel that contract on you, and you could potentially be at risk of losing that money. And in Park City, the stakes are quite large. If you're buying a $3 million house and you have 20% down on it, if you have 3% down on it, that's a lot of money. Also, if you have a property to sell first, you need to get that property sold first, or you need to get that property past those deadlines where a buyer could potentially back out. I always like to tell people, look, it's not over until it's over and a buyer signs and the money's in your account. It is never over until it's over. There have been people who have walked away at the closing table and forfeited their earnest money because they lost a job and they couldn't perform or whatever it was. You've got to have your financial ducks in a row. I cannot emphasize this enough. It really makes it difficult when you don't have your money together. Waiting to make an offer. If you wait too long, prices are going to go up. Interest rates are going to change. The economy is going to change. Inventory levels could change. If you blink and it's a competitive market, that property could be gone. If a property comes up in a desirable area and it's updated and it's ready to go and it's a good location and there's not a lot of inventory in that area, you need to be ready to act because blink your eyes and it could be gone. And this especially happens in the Deer Valley area. Ski in, ski out. That is a very hot commodity. Ski in, ski out is scarce. There's not a lot of it. We cannot replicate it. Ski in, ski out is what it is. So people are willing to pay a premium for it, just like people are willing to pay a premium for beachfront property in California or Florida or wherever you are, because you can't create more of it. It's scarce. Buying ski in, ski out in Park City is like owning a beachfront property. Lowballing an offer when it's a competitive market. Now, right now, there are some areas that are really hot. There are some areas that are not so hot. So you don't have to worry about things being too competitive, but I think you will be shocked to know that some properties are getting multiple offers in Park City because there are little hot spots around the area. And so there are some properties that are selling very, very quickly and getting multiple offers, being slow to respond. This is my biggest pet peeve on planet Earth. You cannot be slow to respond. Time kills all deals. And especially when you are under contract and you have deadlines, you cannot be slow to respond. Because believe it or not, I know you don't care, but I am waiting for your signature. I am waiting for your spouse's signature. I am waiting for your partners, your LLC, whoever is on the contract to sign. And if you are slow to sign, you can miss deadlines or you can come very, very close to missing out on something. So you need to be very responsive when it comes to signing documents and getting back to your agent. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Time kills all deals. It kills all deals. And if you aren't a quick decision maker, then that means you actually don't have clarity for what you actually want. Maybe we should go back to the drawing board and try to help you find some clarity so that you can move with precision and make sharp, clean, clear, and crisp decisions when you're buying this property. Not communicating with your agent. This is another giant pet peeve of mine. I cannot read your mind. I do not have a crystal ball. So if you do not tell me what you want, I'm going to be sending you what I think you want, right? And sometimes I try to dig, and I'm getting better and better and better at trying to ask questions, but there is a part of me that doesn't want to be too invasive to people. I grew up with a mother who asked me questions all the time, and it drove me crazy. My mom would be the most wonderful police officer, interrogator, detective. She asks questions after questions after questions after questions after questions. And as a kid, it irritated me. So I'm always super cautious and careful about how many questions I ask people, what I ask people. I'm always feeling like, am I crossing the line of irritating them, of them being annoyed with me? Am I getting too personal with them? But at the end of the day, I think I just need to go to therapy and work on that, because I need to be asking you more questions so that I know exactly what you want, or you need to be able to communicate with me what you want. Because I can't help you if I don't know what you want. And if you're a flip-flopper, you're flip-flopping. One week you're like, we want to look for properties that are $3 million. You go under contract, then you cancel, and then you're like, just kidding. We want to look at stuff for $600,000. I don't know how to help you. You just went from a $3 million budget to now you want something for $600,000. You're not going to be buying anything in Park City because there's not anything in Park City for $600,000. It's not going to happen. When you are one extreme to another extreme, it's really hard for me to help you, especially when you're bouncing around in areas. You're like, what can I get all the way out in Heber? And then you're looking in Promontory, and then you're looking at Upper Deer Valley, and you're all over the place. You need to get absolute clarity on what you want so that I can be the most helpful human being on the planet. Because believe it or not, yes, the Wasatch Back is a very small area, but Camas is far away, Heber is far away, Park City, these areas are all little sub areas of each other. And if we are going to look at 20 houses, which I don't ever recommend doing, because you're not even going to remember the first 10 that you see, let alone what the carpet looked like, if there was a master on the main floor, what the bathroom looked like. You're not going to be able to keep all these properties straight, let alone the areas. So what I always recommend is you really need to come out here and drive around the areas yourself so that you can be like, Nicole, we came out here, we took a trip out here, we drove around all the areas. This is what we want. We specifically want Ranch Place. We fell in love with Ranch Place. We fell in love with Park Meadows. We fell in love with Thanes. Those are the areas we want to focus on, rather than sending me random listings from all over the place. And one's in Heber, one's in Red Ledges, one's in Promontory, one's in Glenwild, one's like at the top of Deer Valley. Like they're all over the place. One's in Camas, one's in Jordanelle. When these properties are all over the place, it's really hard for me to help you because you're all over the place. Only focusing on the perfect home. If you are so focused on, this is my budget, has to have a view, I don't want road noise. When you're looking at a property in Park City, the closer that you are to the ski resorts, it's more like owning beachfront property. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. I recently toured a whole bunch of properties in Canyon. A lot of these properties are very expensive. They're all $5 million and up. And I'll tell you right now, not one of them was completely fully renovated. They all had half updates, meaning half of the project was done. It was like we went into this giant house. It was gorgeous. The whole entire main floor was over 2,000 square feet. It had soaring ceilings, had giant kitchen islands. And I was like, oh my Godding my way through this entire house. It was beautiful. And I brought Trav with me and we were looking through it, and the bedrooms were like soaring ceilings, beautiful views. And then as we got downstairs, I'm like, did they run out of money? Because the downstairs isn't updated. Like Trav's like, I hate this floor. This is the weirdest floor I've ever seen. It was like rock, stone. It was like completely different from the first level. And we started to tour more and more houses like that. And I'm like, oh, these guys did the main updates, right? They did the kitchen, the master bath, but then like all the other stuff, they kind of like either ran out of money or decided we're not going to do that. The buyer that comes in can do that. So they kind of half updated the house. And I've noticed that there are a lot of half updates in Park City, but they're still charging a premium for these prices. So you need to be able to have an open mind. If you're wanting a house that is completely brand new and totally updated from head to toe, exterior to interior, gutted and remodeled in a prime location in Park City, you're going to be paying a premium for that versus something around the Jordanelle where all those new homes are being built, but you're a little farther out, skipping the fine print. I feel like I'm a pretty good agent and I keep everybody on track, on top of things. I'm an over communicator. I will probably annoy you and be like, okay, are you ready? Did you get the wiring instructions? Have you sent the money? Is everything good? I do not want you to be the person that defaults on your contract. I am on top of your butt pretty much all the way through the contract in a nice way. I don't want to be super annoying to you, but I have had people that have kind of gone rogue on me. I've had a couple people that have gone rogue on me, which was a big surprise because I'm like, these people are smart. They're wealthy. Why are they going rogue? They own a lot of real estate, have gone through many transactions. You would think they know better, but clearly they didn't. And they didn't really care. And it scared me to death because I'm liable because I'm your agent and I'm trying to keep you on track and you're pushing back at me. That's a scary thing for me because I'm going to keep you on track. I want to help you be successful in this transaction, but I also want to do what's best for you. So if you have a problem with wiring money, it's not going to get there on time. I need to know about it because we need to let that other agent know about it. Not telling me is the worst thing that you can do. I'm the agent representing you. I am on your side. I am your fiduciary, not your enemy. So if there's something that's wrong on your part, you need to let me know ASAP so that we can get you out of the contract, cancel soon enough so that you're not in default, essentially breaching the contract. The timing of the contract couldn't be more important if you are getting a mortgage, when you record, when you sign your documents. In Utah, we have something called settlement, and most states have something called closing. Well, closing in Utah is when all parties have signed the documents, buyer and seller, and the deed has been recorded and all funds have been dispersed. That is called recording, and that is what we consider closing in Utah. When you get a timeline email from me, it's going to say settlement deadline. This is the day that you need to sign by. This is the day that the title company needs all the documents in their office, and this is the day that you need to wire your cash to close to the title company, is the settlement deadline. Most of my clients, they sign early. They sign a few days early because 90% of my clients are out of state. They don't want to fly in and sign in person. A lot of the times we are doing remote notaries so they can sign remotely and then they're wiring their money. So this needs to happen a few days before settlement because if you sign remotely on the day of settlement, guess what? You're going to be in default because that notary has to FedEx the documents back, the original copies, back to the title company if you are getting a mortgage, because the title company, the title officer, needs the original loan documents. Now, if you're cash, this doesn't matter. Cash doesn't matter, but if you're getting a loan, it matters a lot. So now you can kind of see there's little hiccups, there's little things coming into the contract that you don't know what you don't know, but I know that I'm going to help you get through. Making big financial decisions before escrow. If you are getting a mortgage, please don't go buy a new car. Please don't go buying a whole bunch of new furniture for this property. Ignoring expert advice. Again, you hired me for a reason. I am the trusted guide. I am the professional. I am the expert. I am going to help get you through the process. Again, if there's a problem on your end, you lose your job, you can't get your earnest money there on time, you can't get the construction deposit there on time, you need to let me know these things ASAP because I need to reach a seller's agent and we need to figure out if we need to extend, which is going to mean you're going to need to sign documents. Everybody's going to need to sign documents to try to get this to extend. We've got to get all parties in agreement in writing to get extensions, or we got to cancel it so you're not in default. As you can see, I've dealt with a lot of this, so I understand the process, I understand the timings. I'm a highly paranoid person because I don't want you to ever lose a construction deposit or an earnest money deposit or be in default for not having your closing documents getting to the title company on time. I want to try to smooth this out as much as possible, but you have to trust me and trust the process and make sure that you're on time for all of these deadlines. The next thing is that it can be very emotional. It can be in a very emotional process. I pretty much am down to business. I am a down to business, cut to the chase, straightforward kind of gal. And I have represented sellers before on the other side where the buyer's agent was very emotional and they were dramatica extravaganza in the contract. I'm telling you, it didn't help anybody. It just irritated the sellers a whole lot more. So you're probably going to get emotional and you're going to take it all out on me, but I am not going to feed into your emotions. I am going to stay level-headed and neutral. I never take on your emotions. I'm just there to support you. And I wish that I could say, don't get emotional, stay calm, be flexible, and stay focused on why you want this, why this is your goal. Try to keep clarity through the process as there's ebbs and flows and ups and downs and bumps in the road. But I know sometimes that's impossible. Don't get emotional telling somebody, what to do all the time. People don't like to be told what to do. So at the end of the day, I know you're going to try to get emotional, but I'm going to be the one that's going to stay calm, focused, and flexible. My name is Nicole Bowdle. I'm a luxury agent in the Park City area. I'm also a lifelong local. I've lived here for 39 years. If you are thinking about buying a luxury property in Park City, Deer Valley, or the Jordanelle, I want to be the gal to help you. So if you're interested in that, let's jump on a Zoom call together and book a discovery call. Get your dream property in the Park City area.